French planter who lives in the South Pacific, and he falls in love with a young nurse.
Some enchanted evening, see a stranger. You may see a stranger across that road.
And she has a problem with the fact that he has children with a Polynesian woman, and eventually she gets over it.
That somewhere you'll see her again and again.
I'm Karen Becky, and I'm playing Bloody Mary in South Pacific. She is a native Polynesian lady on an island in South Pacific. And she's trying to get Lieutenant Cable to marry her daughter, Leah. She's really eccentric.
My name is Derek Meyer. I'm playing Lieutenant Joseph Cable.
And what can you tell us about your character?
My character is a Marine that flies in to an island going on a mission, and he ends up falling in love with a little Tonkinese girl. And not very happy guy, except for when he's on the island playing with the girl.
My name's Dan Moore, and I play Luther Billis in the musical.
And can you tell us a little bit about your character?
He's kind of a goofball. He likes to sell things. Give me that. This is a shrunken head. He's trying to sell to the, that he bought from a native, and he's trying to sell them off to the sailors because he's trying to make a deal all the time. And he's kind of the funny one.
Hello, I'm Miss McCauley, and I'm the pit orchestra director for the musical South Pacific here at Merrill High School.
What goes into putting together a pit like this?
We start preparing about the end of February, and first step is getting all the right instrumentation and figuring out what parts need to be covered and those kind of things. And once the instrumentation is set, then it's basically just getting into the score and learning the music and putting it all together with the variety of songs and wording and dialogue and those kind of things. The other musicals, South Pacific is somewhat a little bit more easier than the other scores that we've done in the past. This is a little different from the standpoint we play a lot of more incidental music, which is setting moods and dialogue background as compared to some of the other musicals we've done here.
Hi, this is Stephanie Gravel from Merrill Productions Channel MP3, and I'm here with Jim Bjorklund, the director of South Pacific, the senior high musical.
South Pacific takes place during World War II, and it's really not so much about World War II as much as it's about people who are in a situation and confronted with issues and confronted with predicaments that cause them to reevaluate how they view the world, how they view themselves, and what they have firmly held as a belief in their lives is challenged. It centers around four characters, well, more than that, but four principal characters. Nellie Forbush is a Army nurse, and Emile Debec is a French planter who lives in the South Pacific. They fall in love and are confronted with differences of their backgrounds and the differences of their beliefs that cause some problems in their lives, but ultimately love prevails and the two characters are united. Lieutenant Cable is a Marine lieutenant who comes to the area for a special mission. This is a time in the war where the Japanese are defeating the Allied forces fairly soundly, and his mission is to try to get some intelligence, which he enlists the help of Emil Defect, who knows the area, to fight and make the tide go the other way against the Japanese. He falls in love with an island girl named Liat, who is Tonkinese. So there are some themes there that regarding race and diversity and acceptance or unacceptance that he confronts. Liat is the daughter of Bloody Mary, and Bloody Mary is an entrepreneur, profiteer, island person who sells souvenirs and is out to make a buck on the whole situation. And it has to do then with the interaction of those characters in a setting where the outcome is uncertain, the war is uncertain, whether or not these people ultimately are able to live together and love each other is uncertain as well. So it's not necessarily a very light subject, but it's produced or set in a way that's very entertaining. This is a story from the 40s, a book written in the 50s, but 50 years have passed, and those are still issues that we confront and deal with and talk about and live with on a daily basis in the world today. It's particularly appropriate and applicable for our lives that think about issues such as this. The show runs Friday and Saturday at 7:30 and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m.
I'm here with Sue Brockman to interview her on her take of South Pacific, the high school musical being put on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mrs. Brockman, you've done the choreography for the high school musical for a number of years now. What is it like coming up with the choreography for people who are not necessarily dancers?
Well, every year it's a challenge. I take the music, listen to it, sometimes have the kids suggest some steps and play around with it a little bit and work a routine up, teach it to them, see what works, and then usually the next dance rehearsal we'll change a few steps and go from there.
You're stage manager this year, correct?
Yes, I am.
Is this new for you?
Oh, no, I've been stage manager many times for shows.
And what is it like backstage during a run like this?
Totally hectic. There are, I think I must have 12 to 15 students on stage crew, probably the biggest stage crew I've ever had. There's so many set pieces that have to be moved while one scene's going on. There's a group of stage crew behind the scenes moving things, working on getting the next prop pieces in place, because not only are there the set pieces to move, it's all the little stuff that we have to make sure that the actors and actresses have in their hands. So it's totally chaotic.
And how do you keep it all organized?
Sometimes I wonder. Notes, I have everyone has their parts assigned, so there's notes posted all over backstage for the students to know what they have to move and when, and I have a headset, so I'm talking to people who are flying the backdrops into the sound, into the lights, and hopefully it all works.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is Stephanie Gravel for MP3.
se resta ici. Oh oui, nous verrons bien. Bien, petit moustique. No, Henrietta, no. No, Henrietta. What's this one?
That is frangipani.
But what a color.
You will find many more flowers out here. Je servirai le café.
Oui, monsieur.
C'est tout.
Oui, monsieur. Well, I'm just speechless. And that lunch, wild chicken? I didn't know it was even wild. Gosh, I had no idea that people live like this, right out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Sugar?
Thanks.
1.
3. I know it's a big load for a demi-tasse to carry. All right, I'm a hick. You know so many American words. Do you know what a hick is?
A hick is one who lives in a stick.
Stick. Plural, the stick.
Pardon, those sticks. I remember now.
How long did it take you to build up a plantation like this?
I came to the Pacific when I was a young man.
Emile, is it true that all the planters on this island, are they all running away from something?
Who is not running away from something? There are fugitives everywhere. Paris, New York, even in Small Rock. Where you come from?
Oh, you mean Little Rock.
Little Rock. You know fugitives there?
I'll show you a picture of a Little Rock fugitive. I got this clipping today from my mother.
Ensign Nellie Forbush, Arkansas's own Florence Nightingale.
That was written by the social editor, Mrs. Leeming. She went to school with my mother. To read her, you'd think I'm practically the most important nurse in the entire Navy, and that it's only a matter of time before I become a lady admiral.
In this picture, you do not look much like an admiral.
Oh, well, that was before I knew what rain and mud and heat could do to your disposition. But it isn't raining today. Gosh, it's beautiful here. Just look at that yellow sun. You know, I don't think it's the end of the world like everybody else thinks. I just can't work myself up to getting that low. You know what they call me down at the Fleet Hospital? Knucklehead Nellie. I suppose I am, but I can't help it. When the sky is a bright canary yellow, I forget every cloud I've ever seen. So they call me a cockeyed optimist, immature and incurably green. I have heard people rant and rave and babble that we're done and we might as well be dead. But I'm only a cockeyed optimist, and I can't get it into my head. I hear the human race is falling on its face and hasn't very far to go. But every whippoorwill is selling me a bill and telling me it just ain't so. I could say life is just a bowl of jello and appear more intelligent and smart, but I'm stuck like a dog with a thing called hope, and I can't get it out of my heart. Want to know anything else about me?
Yes. You say you are a fugitive. When you joined the Navy, what were you running away from?
Gosh, I don't know. It was more like I was running to something. I wanted to see what the world was like. Outside Little Rock, I mean, and, well, I wanted to meet different kinds of people and find out if I liked them better.
Would you like some cognac?
I'd love some. Living on a hillside, looking on an ocean beautiful and still.
This is what I need. This is what I've longed for. Someone young and smiling, climbing up my hill.
We are not alike. Probably I'd bore him. He's a cultured Frenchman. I'm little Hick.
Younger men than I, officers and doctors, probably pursue her. She could have a bill.
Wonder why I feel jittery and jumpy. I'm like a schoolgirl waiting for a dance.
Can I ask her now? Are you like a schoolboy? What will be her answer? Do I have a chance? In peacetime, the boat from America comes once a month. The ladies, the wives of the planters, often go to Australia during the hot months. It can get very hot in here.
It can get hot in Arkansas, too.
Ah, yes?
Uh-huh.
I have many books here. Marcel Proust, André Gide. Did you study French in school?
Oh, yes.
Ah, then you can read French.
No. I can conjugate a few verbs. I bet you read a lot.
Out here, one becomes hungry to learn everything, not to miss anything, not to let anything good pass by.
Yes?
One waits so long for what is good, and when at last it comes, one cannot risk to lose. So one must speak and act quickly, even if it seems almost foolish to be so quick. I know it is only 2 weeks. You didn't get an at your officers' club. Do you remember?
Yes.
And that is the way things happen sometimes, isn't it, Nellie?
Yes, it is, Emil.
Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing. You may hear her laughing across a crowded room, and night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. we have children, when I die, they will be growing up. You could afford to take them back to America if you like. Think about it.
Monsieur Debec, la jeep de mademoiselle est ici. La jeep de mademoiselle? Votre jeep. My jeep. Oh, my jeep! Gosh, thanks, Henrietta. I'm on duty in 10 minutes.
Before you leave, Mary, I want to tell you something. A while ago, you asked me a question. Why did I leave France?
Oh, Emile, that was none of my business.
But I want to tell you. I had to leave France. I killed a man.
Why did you kill him?
He was a wicked man, a bully. Everyone in our village was glad to see him die. It was not to my discredit. Do you believe me, Nellie?
You have just told me that you killed a man and that it's all right. I hardly know you, and yet I know it's all right.
Thank you, Nellie. You will think?
I will think.
Eh bien!
Bravo, papa.
Merci, monsieur.
Oui, j'entends bien aussi.
Ah oui?
Attends, papa. Attends, papa. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est belle.
Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est gaie. Dites-moi pourquoi chère mademoiselle. Parce que, mais.
$50.
What's it made of?
Made out of head. It's real human.
What makes it so small?
Slunk. Only way to keep human head is to slink 'em.
No thanks.
$50. Send home to Chicago.
Here you are, sweaty pie. Put them down, Professor. These beautiful grass skirts were made by myself, the professor here, and 3 other Seabees in half the time it takes you native workers to make them. See? No stretch. Look them over, sweaty pie, and give me your price.
Hey, look at this shirt. Take it up with the manager. Hey, big dealer. Hey, Mr. Billis.
What can I do for you, my boy? What's the trouble?
Look at this shirt.
The bill of laundry is not responsible for minor birds and tears. What do you say, Sweatso? What am I offered?
Oh, and so. Gee, that's mighty fine work.
Do you hear that, sweaty pie? You can probably sell these to the chumps for $5 or $6 a piece. Now I'll let you have the whole bunch for, say, $80.
Give you $10. What? Not enough?
Yeah, you're right, not enough.
Then you damn well keep.
Oh, look here, dragon lady. What's that you got there? A boar's tooth bracelet? Where'd you get that? Valley High?
You like?
You know what that is? A bracelet made out of a single boar's tooth. They cut the tooth from the boar in a big ceremonial over there on Valley High. Ain't a souvenir in the South Pacific you can pick up that's as valuable as this. What do you want for it, Mary?
$100.
$100? That's cheap. I thought it'd be more.
I don't know how she can turn him up for that.
I'll make you special offer, big dealer. Trade you boar's tooth bracelet for all grass skirts.
It's a deal.
Wait a minute. It's no deal till you throw in something for good luck.
All right, what do you want me to throw in?
$100.
Don't run into these things every day. They're scarce as hen's teeth. They're bigger, too. Curse that Valley High. Why does it have to be off limits? You can get everything over there. Bracelets, shrunken heads, old ivory, young French women. Yeah. Knock it off. I'm talking about souvenirs. So serious. Gotta get a boat and get over there. Feeling restless. I need to take a trip.
Only officers can sign on boats.
Oh, I'll get a boat, all right. I'll latch on to some officer who's got some imagination. They'd like to see that boar's tooth ceremonial as much as I would. It's a heck of a ceremonial. Dancing, drinking, everything.
You big phony. We all know why you really want to go to Valley High.
Why?
The French planners put all the young women over there when they found out us GIs were coming, that's why. It's not about boar's teeth. It's about women.
It is boar's teeth.
And women. Right off the tree. We got volleyball and ping pong and a lot of sandy games. What ain't we got? We ain't got sand. We get the we get movies, we get shows, we get pizza and then books and Tokyo Roll. We get land and stuff and boyfriends, we get music from the smell. What don't we get? We know damn well. We got nothing to put on a clean white suit for. What we need is what there ain't no substitute for. There is nothing like a day, nothing in the world. There is nothing you can name that is anything like a day. We feel restless, we take heat, we feel lonely and free. We feel every kind of feeling, but that feeling of relief. We feel hungry as a wolf already with red riding clothes. What don't we feel? We don't feel good. Lots of things in life are beautiful, but brother, there's one particular thing that has nothing whatsoever in any way, shape, or form like any other. There's nothing like a day, nothing in the world. There's nothing you can name that is anything like a day. Nothing else is ever the same. Nothing in the world. When we feel like the lights of the day, there is absolutely
Oh, why, you do beautiful work, Luther. You even did the pleats in my shorts.
Pleats ain't hard. Better run along now and catch up to your gang.
Pleats are very hard. How do you do such delicate work at night in the dark?
There was a moon.
There was a moon.
A full moon.
How much, Luther?
Oh, no, not from you.
Gosh, I guess I'm just about the luckiest nurse on this island to have found you. You're a treasure. Oh, well, goodbye, Luther. Hop, 2, 3, 4, hop.
She's a nice girl. Some of them nurses, the office you can have. They got them. Well, they can have them. So suppose they may try to make me big flaws. Just before my summers are more, I try to Santa Claus. It's a waste of time to worry all that that they have not. Be thankful for the things they've got. There are no books like a day. Nothing looks like a day. There are no drinks like a day. And nothing thinks like a day. Nothing acts like a day. Or attracts like a day. There ain't a thing that's wrong with anything. There can't be just right looking to you. Like a day was a thing we
Hello.
Hello?
You make trouble for me?
Huh?
Are you crummy major?
No. I'm even crummier than that. I'm lieutenant.
Lieutenant?
Lieutenant.
Hiya, Lieutenant. New on the rock?
Just came in on that PBY.
Yeah? Where from?
A little island south of Marie Louise.
And you went up there ready to use the real bullet.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Lieutenant. You sexy man.
Thanks. You're looking pretty, fit yourself.
Real sexy.
Who is she?
She's Tonkinese. Used to work for a French planter.
Such planters, stingy bastards.
Say, I wonder if any of you know a French planter named Beck.
Emile de Beck? I think he's the guy who lives on top of that hill. Do you know him?
No, but I'm going to.
Hey, Lieutenant. You got a sweetheart? Sent from Chicago to sexy sweetheart.
No, she's a Philadelphia girl.
What's that? Philadelphia girl? What's that mean? No sexy? You like I give you free.
Free? You never give me anything free.
You know sexy like Lieutenant. Hey,
No thanks. Where'd you get that anyway?
Bali High.
There's your officer. There's your officer.
That's the island over there with 2 volcanoes on it. Officers can get launches and go over there.
Valley High. What does that mean?
Bali High means I am your special island. Means here I am. Bali High is your special island, Lieutenant. I know. You listen. You hear island call to you. You hear something? Listen.
I hear the sound of wind and waves. That's all.
No, hear something calling. Listen.
I think I hear something. Shut your big fat mouth.
Hear voice?
Most people live on a lonely island, lost in the middle of a foggy sea.
course, Lieutenant. Right now, that island is off limits due to the fact that the French planters have all their young women running around over there. Of course, you being an officer, you could get a launch. I'd even be willing to requisition a boat for you. What do you say, Lieutenant? Valley high may call you any night, any day. In your heart, you'll hear it call you. Come away, come away. Lieutenant?
No.
I see what you mean. Being off limits and all. Take a lot of persuading to get me to go over there. But another thing goes on over there. The ceremonial of the boars, too. After they kill the boar, they pass around some of that coconut liquor, and women dance with just skirts on. And everybody gets to know everybody pretty well. Just a little tribal ceremonial. Primitive, but astonishing. I thought you being up in the shooting war for such a long time without getting any recreation, thought you might be interested.
I am. Right now, I've got to report to the island commander.
Oh. Professor, take the lieutenant up in the truck.
Professor?
That's because he went to college. You go to college?
Yes.
Where?
A place in New Jersey.
Where, Rutgers?
No, Princeton.
Oh, folks got money, eh, Lieutenant? Don't be ashamed of it. We understand. Say, maybe you'd like to hear the professor talk some language. What would you like to hear? Latin? Grecian? Give him some Latin. Rectius divis lucim. Ain't that beautiful?
Neque autum, semper argando, dum personas.
Now, Lieutenant, what did he say?
I'm afraid I haven't the slightest idea.
What's the matter? Didn't you graduate? Take the lieutenant to the buildings. Aye, aye. I'll never make captain.
I'm
There she is, sir. You are causing an economic revolution on this island. French planters can't find a native to pick a coconut or milk a cow because you're paying them 10 times as much to make these ridiculous grass skirts.
French planters. Stingy bastards.
Excuse me, sir. Who are you? Billis, sir. Luther Billis. The natives can now go back to work on the farm. The demand for grass skirts can now be met by us Seabees.
Dressmakers? Do you mean to tell me that the Seabees of the U.S. Navy are now a bunch of...
You don't like the idea, sir? We can drop it right here, sir. Just pretend I never brought it up.
Luther Billis.
Yes, sir.
Oh, nothing, just making a mental note. I want to be sure not to forget your name. I want to see you pick up every scrap of this paraphernalia now. And for the last time, carried way down there, beyond that fence, off Navy property.
Come on, everybody. Take all this stuff and throw it over that fence.
All right, take it away. Off Navy property.
You go, too.
All right, Lieutenant. Thank you.
Lieutenant, who are you anyway? Lieutenant Joseph Cable, sir. Just flew in.
A joyride?
No, sir. Orders.
A Marine, under orders to me.
Yes, sir.
I'm Captain Brackett.
How do you do, sir?
This is my executive officer, Commander Harbison. Well, what's it all about?
My colonel feels these islands are all in danger because none of us has been getting first-hand intelligence, and what we need is a coast watch.
A coast watch?
A man with a radio, hiding out on one of those Jap-held islands, where he could watch a ship as they start down the bottleneck. Down this way.
What do you think, Phil?
Well, sir, our pilots could do a hell of a lot to jack convoys with information like that.
You'd have to sneak this man ashore at night, from a submarine.
Yes, sir.
Well, who's going to do it?
Well, sir, I've been elected.
You've got quite an assignment, son.
How long do you think you can last out there, sending messages, before the Japs found you?
I think I'd be okay if I could take a man with me who really knew the country. Headquarters has found there's a man here who used to live on Marie Louise Island.
Marie Louise? That's a really good spot, right on the bottleneck.
What's this Frenchman's name?
Emile de Bec.
Meet me in my office in about half an hour, Cable.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Bill. Maybe we'll get into this war yet.
Jimmy. Did you tell the guys at the shop to stop making the grass skirts? Sure. They just turned out one of these. What do you think of it? That don't look like a dried-up human head. Looks like an old orange painted with shoe polish. That's what it is. Go back to the shop and tell them to try again. If I order a dried-up human head, I want a human head dried up. Fade. Here he comes. Don't change your expression, Lieutenant. Just act like we're talking casual. I got the vote.
What vote?
Keep walking down the company street. Keep your voice down. Signed out a vote in your name. We're shoving off for Valley High in 45 minutes.
No, we're not. I've got to see Captain Brackett.
Lieutenant, what are you doing to me? I signed this vote out in your name.
Then you're just the man to go back and cancel it. Forget the whole thing, okay?
Lieutenant, you and me are going on a boat trip whether you like it or not. I threw it. What are you going to do about it?
Cable, we've got some dope on your Frenchman. Marie Louise Island, moved down here 16 years ago. Lived with a Polynesian woman for about 5 years. 2 kids by her. She died. Here's one thing we gotta get cleared up. Seems he left friends in a hurry. Killed a guy. What do you think of that?
Might be a handy man to have around.
Cable. Quail, send her in. Come in, Miss Forbush.
Captain Brackett, please excuse the way I
You look fine. May I present Commander Harbison?
I have the pleasure of meeting Miss Forbush twice a week. We serve together on the GI Entertainment Committee.
Oh. And may I also present Lieutenant Joseph Cable, Miss Forbush? Sit down, Miss Forbush. How's the Thanksgiving entertainment coming along?
Very well, thank you, sir. We practice whenever we get a chance.
About a week ago, you had lunch with a French planter, Emile Debec.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about him?
Well, what do I know about him?
That's right.
Well, we met at the Officers Club dance. He was there, and I met him. Then I had lunch with him that day.
Yes, now what kind of man is he?
He's very nice. He's kind. He's attractive. I just don't know what you want to know, sir.
Miss Forbush, Captain Brackett wants to know, did you discuss politics?
No, sir.
Would you have discussed politics, Commander? Now, what we're specifically interested in is, well, when these fellows come out from France, it's generally because they've had some trouble. Has he told you anything about that? What do you know about his family?
Oh, he has no family, no wife, nobody.
He hasn't any children?
No, sir.
And you say he's never told you why he left France?
Yes, sir. He left France because he killed a man.
Did he tell you why?
No, but he will if I ask him.
Well, Miss Forbush, that's exactly what we'd like to have you do. Find out as much as you can about him, his background, his opinion, and why he killed this man in France.
In other words, you want me to spy on him?
Well, I'm afraid it is something like that.
Why? Do you suspect him of something?
No, it's just that we don't know very much about him, and... Will you help us, Miss Forbush?
I'll try.
Thank you. You may go now if you wish.
I don't know very much about him, really. Do I?
He's kept a few secrets from her, hasn't he?
Well, you don't spring a couple of Polynesian kids on a woman right off the bat.
I'm afraid we're not going to get much out of her. She's obviously in love with him.
That's hard to believe, sir. They tell me he's a middle-aged man.
Cable! It is a common mistake for boys of your age and athletic ability to underestimate men who've reached their maturity.
I didn't mean, sir.
Young women frequently find a grown man attractive. Strange as it may seem to you, I myself am over 50. I'm a bachelor, and, Cable, I do not by any means consider myself through. You may go.
Yes, sir.
What makes you so damn sure this mission isn't going to work?
Marie Louise Island is 24 miles long and 3 miles wide. Let's say that every time they send out a message, they move to another hill. Well, it seems to me, looking at this thing, realistically, they could last about a week.
Of course, it wouldn't be worth it if it were the right week. With decent information, our side might get moving. Operation Alligator might get off its can.
Here it is, sir. I got it.
Okay, Bill. See ya, chow. See ya, chow, Bill. Okay. See, you got the address right?
I think so, sir. Mrs. Amelia Fortuna, 325 Euclid Avenue, Shaker Heights, Cleveland, Ohio.
That's right. I want to pack it myself.
Yes, sir.
Gonna be wearing that to chow, sir?
Letter from home?
Yes. Do you get letters from your mother telling you that everything you do is wrong?
No. My mother thinks everything I do is right.
My mother.
Of course.
My mother's so prejudiced
Against Frenchmen?
against anyone living outside of Little Rock. She makes a big thing about people having different backgrounds.
Like agents.
Oh, no. Mother thinks older men are better for girls than younger men.
It's been a very discouraging day for me.
Do you agree with Mother about people having things in common? For instance, if the man likes symphony music and the girl likes Dinah Shore, or if he reads Marcel Proust and she doesn't read anything. Well, do you think Mother's right?
Well, she might be.
Well, I don't think she is.
Well, maybe she's not.
Well, goodbye, Lieutenant. You've helped a lot.
Listen, you don't know so much about that guy. You better read that over 2 or 3 times.
I'll show you what I think of that idea.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
What do you want? Huh? What do you want? Who? Iron Belly. Oh, Captain Brackett. Oh, nothing. Nothing important. Something about the Thanksgiving show.
Then what's the problem, knucklehead?
Huh?
I said, what's the problem?
Oh, nothing. There's not going to be any trouble anymore because, well, I've made up my mind about one thing. It's all off.
With him?
Uh-huh. I'm gonna break it off clean before it's too late.
Knucklehead, what's wrong? What did he do?
Oh, well, he didn't do anything, really. It's just that, well, I guess I just don't know very much about him, and, well, before I go any further with this thing, I may as well just not get started. Don't you think so, too?
Yeah, I do.
You do, huh? Well, I guess I do, too. Well, you don't have to look so dramatic about it. Things like this happen every day. I'm gonna watch that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna watch that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna watch that man right out of my hair and send him on his way. Get the picture? I'm gonna wave that man right out of my arms. I'm gonna wave that man right out of my arms. I'm gonna wave that man.
That song, is it a new American song?
It's an American type song. We were just kind of putting in our own words. Where is everybody?
It is strange with your American songs. One is either desirous to get rid of one's lover, or one weeps for a man one cannot have.
That's right.
I like a song that says, I love you, and you love me. And isn't that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
I left a note for you at the hospital. It was to ask you to my home for dinner next Friday.
Oh, well, I don't think I'll be able to come, Emil.
I've asked all my friends, the planters' colony.
Oh, a big party. Well, then if I can't come, you won't miss me.
But it is for you. It is for my friends to meet you, and more important, for you to meet them. To give you an idea of what your life would be like here. I want you to know more about me, how I live and think.
Know more about you?
Yes, you know very little about me.
That's right. Would you sit down? Do you think about politics much? And if so, what do you think about politics?
Do you mean my political philosophy?
I think that's what I mean.
Well, to begin, I believe in the free life, in freedom for everyone.
Like in the Declaration of Independence.
C'est ça. All men are created equal, isn't it?
Emil, you really believe that?
Yes.
Well, thank goodness.
It is why I am here, why I killed a man.
Oh, yes. I meant to ask you about that, too. I don't want you to think I'm prying into your private life, asking a lot of questions. It's just that, well, I always find it interesting why a person kills another person.
Of course, Nellie, that has worried you. Allow me to explain. When I was a boy, I carried my heart in my hand. So when this man came to our town, though my father said he was good, I thought he was bad. I was young. He attracted all the mean and cruel people to him. Soon he was running our town. He could do anything, take anything. I did not like that. I was young. I stood up in the public square and made a speech. I called upon everyone to stand with me against this man.
What did they do?
They walked away
Why?
because they saw him standing right behind me. I turned and he said to me, I'm going to kill you now. We fought. I was never so strong. I knocked him to the ground, and when he fell, his head struck a stone, and I ran to the waterfront and joined the cargo boat. I did not even know where it was going. I stepped off that boat in another world, where I am now, and where I want to stay. Nellie, will you marry me? There are so few days in our life, Nellie. The time I have with you now is precious to me. Have you been thinking?
I have been thinking. Born on the opposite sides of the sea, we are as different as people can be.
It's true.
And yet you want to marry me.
I do.
I've known you a few short
Friday?
Mm-hmm. I expect every one of my crowd to make fun of my proud protestations of faith and romance. And they'll say I'm naive as a babe to believe any fable I hear from a person intense. Fearlessly I'll face them and argue their doubts away. Loudly I'll sing about flowers and spring. Flatly I'll stand on my little flat feet and say, love is a grand and a beautiful thing. I'm not ashamed to reveal the world famous feeling I feel.
Now, before you give us your answer, I want to impress you with 3 things. First, you're civilian, and you don't have to go. There's no way of our making you go. Second, that this is a very dangerous mission, and there's no guarantee that you'll survive, or that it'll do any good. Third, that it might do a great good. It might be the means of turning the tide of war in this area.
I understand all these things.
Are you ready to give us an answer?
Yes, I am. My answer must be no. When a man faces death, he must weigh values very carefully. He must weigh the sweetness of his life against the thing he is asked to die for. The probability of death is very great for both of us. I know that island well, Lieutenant Cable. I am not certain that I believe that what you ask me to do is...
We're asking you to help us lick the Japs. It's as simple as that. We're against the Japs.
I know what you're against. What are you for? When I was 22, I thought the world hated bullies as much as I did. I was foolish. I killed one. And I was forced to flee to an island. Since then, I have asked no help from anyone or any country. I have seen these bullies multiply and grow strong. The world sat by and watched.
To hell with this, DeBeck. Let's be honest. Aren't you just a guy in love with a girl, and you're putting her above everything else in the world?
Yes, I do care about my life with her more than anything else in the world. It is the only thing that is important to me. This I believe in. This I am sure of. This I have. I cannot risk to lose it. Good day, gentlemen.
What a day. Cable, there's a bottle of scotch in my bottom drawer. Take a couple of days off to unwind. Take a boat. Find some girls. Go fishing.
A boat?
Commander Harbison, the old man walked right out on me with all these orders to be filled. And there's another delegation of French planters here complaining about that stolen pig. Going to Seabees, cooking barbecue. Commander Hutton's here.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Look, Billis, I didn't come over here to Valley High to watch anybody cut any boar's teeth out.
It ain't the cutting of the boar's teeth exactly. What comes afterwards?
I take you with me. Come, Lieutenant. You'll have a good time. Girls, come here. Phyllis, you go with girls to the board ceremony. Lieutenant, come later. Come, Lieutenant. You have a good time.
What's this?
You wait.
But there's nobody around here.
You wait, Lieutenant.
Mary, what's going on? What's happening? What?
You like?
Who is she?
Leah.
Leah.
It's French name.
Leah.
But she no French girl. She company is like me. We are very pretty Bono?
Do you speak English?
Only a few words. She talks French. Français.
Je parle français, un peu.
Moi aussi. Un peu. Are you afraid of me? Oh. Avez-vous peur?
No. Oui. No.
But you're just a kid. How did Mary get a kid like you to come here? I don't get it. Cette vieille femme, votre amie?
Ma mère.
Your mother? Bloody Mary's your mother? But she didn't tell me. The boat all right?
No, no.
I'll let him wait.
I touch your hand and my arm grows strong, like a pair of boots that burst with snow. My eyes look down at your lovely face, and I hold the world in my embrace. Younger than springtime, are you? Softer than starlight, are you? Warmer than winter, purer the gentle lips you gave me. Gayer than laughter, are you? Sweeter than music, are you? Angel and lover, heaven and earth, are you to me? And when you're you, and you're invade my arms and fill my heart, as now they do there. Younger than springtime, am I? Gayer than laughter, am I? Angel and lover, heaven and earth, am And when you're youth and joy invade my arms and fill my heart, as now they do, then younger than springtime am I, gayer than laughter am I, angel and
Ring the bell again. Ring the bell again. I'll have another one of those.
He comes. He comes. He'll be here soon. Don't worry, Phyllis.
Hey, Mary. Can you please tell those Boarders 2 ceremonial fellows not to be sore at me?
I didn't think the girls who do a religious dance with just skirts on. If I thought it was a religious dance, I wouldn't have got up and danced with them. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
It's gonna be my son-in-law. Goodbye, Miss Helen. Come back soon. Bye, hi. Come back soon. Good night, everybody. Good night.
No, Nelly. En français, en français.
Oh, Boutra, enchanté, connaissance. Oh, Emile, you know I can't stay. I've got to get that Jeep back. I stole it. Or rather, I borrowed it. Or rather, a man stole it for me, a wonderful man named Phyllis. I'll have to sneak around the hospital the way it is.
In that case, I forbid you to go. If you have to sneak back without anyone seeing you, you may as well just sneak back later.
You're absolutely right. Oh, I've never had such a wonderful time in my whole life. All those lovely people and that cute old man who spoke French with me and made believe he understood me, and that exciting native couple who danced for us. Oh, it's so different from Little Rock. This is how it feels, living on a hillside. Here we are, just like two old married people. Our guests have gone home and we're alone.
This is what I need. This is what I've longed for. Someone young and smiling here upon my hill.
Emile, you know, my mother says we have nothing in common. But she's wrong. We have something very important in common. Very much in common.
Yes, we're both in love.
Yes, but more than that. We're the same kind of people, fundamentally, you and me. We appreciate things. We get enthusiastic about things. It's really quite exciting when two people are like that. We're not blasé. You know what I mean?
Nellie, I have a surprise for you. You sit over there. Something I've been preparing for 2 days. Close your eyes now, no peeking. I went and washed that man right out of my hair. I went and washed that man right out of my hair. I went and washed that man right out of my hair and sent him on his way. Don't try to patch it up, tear it up, tear it up. Wash him up, dry him up, push him up, fly him up, cancel him and let him go. Yes, sister.
Oh, that's wonderful, Emile.
Bonsoir.
Oh, you're the cutest things I've ever seen. What are your names? Oh, you probably can't understand a word I'm saying, but oh my goodness, you're cute.
Nelly, I want you to meet Nagana and Jerome. Nagana and Jerome, Nelly.
Nelly? Nelly?
Maintenant, Lise, vite.
Ce n'est petit. Bonsoir, Nelly. Bonsoir, Nelly. Bonsoir. Oh, aren't they adorable? Those big black eyes staring at you out of those sweet little faces. Are they Henrietta's?
They're mine.
Oh, of course they are. They look exactly like you. Where did you hide their mother?
She's dead, Nelly.
She's... Emile, they are yours.
Yes, Nelly, I am their father.
And their mother was a...
Polynesian. And she was beautiful, Nelly, and charming, too.
But
apology. I want you to know I have no apologies. I came here as a young man. I lived as I could.
Of course.
But I have not been selfish. No woman ever hated me or tried to hurt me.
No woman could ever want to hurt you, Emil. Oh, what time is it? I promised to get that sheet back. Oh, this is awful. Look at the time.
Nellie, wait, please. I'll drive you home.
Oh, you will do no such thing. Anyways, I couldn't leave that Jeep here. I promised to get it back by...
Don't go now, Nellie. Don't go yet.
Oh,
Please.
this is terrible. I won't be able to face the girls at the hospital. You can't imagine how they look at you when you walk in late. Oh, I'll call you, Emil. I'll come by tomorrow. Oh, no. There are these awful Thanksgiving rehearsals. I'm teaching them a dance, and they want to rehearse night and day, but after that... Oh, thank you for tonight, Emil. I had a wonderful time. It was the nicest party, and you're a perfect host. Goodbye. Please stay here, Emil. Don't come out to the Jeep, please.
I love you. Do you hear me, Nellie? I love you.
And I love you, too. Honestly, I do. Please, let me go.
Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found
The barrel roll was done by Lieutenant J.G. Bessie May Sue Ellie Yeager. The hitch kick and scissors, those are the names of the steps, was done by Ensign Cora McRae. The multiple revolutions and, incidentally, the dance steps were done by Ensign Nellie Forbes. Now, before we get to the last act of our show, we will have an exhibition of weightlifting by the strong and handsome... Oh!
Hey, lights! The lights are out! Phyllis!
Phyllis! Well, what the heck happened to the lights?
The generator ran out of gas. Switch over to the other one. Mike, turn on the sub light.
Well, keep your seats, everybody. There's nothing wrong except that the lights went out.
Hey, look where you're going! How the hell can I look where I can't see?
I'll get a generator running in a minute. Got the truck lights on. Something.
The weightlifting act just got started.
Good. Now, what I can't understand is how some guys ain't got the artistic imagination to put gas in a generator so a show can be a success, especially when they're on the committee.
You're on the committee too. Why didn't you tell us you needed gas off?
I'm acting in the show, and I'm stage manager and producer. I can't figure out everything, can I?
Sure you can. Just put your two heads together.
Look, jerk! I got a production on my hands. How's the weightlifting act going?
Oh, I can't tell. Nobody's clapping.
If nobody's clapping, it ain't going good. You gotta be able to figure that out. Put your two heads together.
You was the one with the two heads.
Pardon. Can you tell me where I can find a Miss Forbes?
She's on stage right now. She's the MC. Can't talk to nobody right now. You want me to take the flowers to her?
No, I prefer to give them to her myself.
Are you Mr. DeBeck?
Yes.
Look, Mr. DeBeck, do me a favor, will ya? Don't try to see her tonight.
Why?
Because we got her in a great mood tonight, and I don't want anything to upset her again.
She has been upset?
Upset? She asked for a transfer to another island. The day before yesterday, she busted out crying in the middle of rehearsal. Said she couldn't go on with the show. She wouldn't have either unless Captain Brackett talked to her and told her how important it was to the base. So do us all a favor. Don't try to see her tonight.
She has asked for a transfer?
Don't tell her I told you. Nobody's supposed to know.
I must see her tonight.
Stay out of sight till after the show. I'll take the flowers to her.
Hey, Phyllis! Phyllis!
Lieutenant Cable?
Lieutenant Cable's supposed to be in his little bed over at the hospital.
You've not been well?
I'm okay. Fever gone. They can't hold me in that damn place any longer. I'm looking for a guy named Phyllis. A great guy for getting votes. And I need a vote right now. I've got to get to my island.
What?
The damned island with the two volcanoes on it. You ever been over there?
Oh, yeah.
I went over there every day. This damn malaria stopped me. Ever sailed over early in the morning? With warm rain playing across your face? And getting to see her again, like last night. I thought I was dreaming.
No.
And what are you doing over here?
She come in big white boat, bigger than your boat. Belong Jacques Ferrer. He want to marry Leah. You know him. He's white man too, and very rich.
Is that the old planter you told me about? The one who drinks? Oh my God! You can't let her marry a man like that!
Okay, then you marry her.
Tais-toi! Elle est malade, tu comprends? Lieutenant, I am worried about you. You are ill. Will you allow me to see you back to the hospital?
You're worried about me? That's funny. The man who says he lives in an island all by himself doesn't worry about anybody. Japs, Americans, Germans, anybody. Why pick out me to worry about?
Forgive me. I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, you like Leah. Marry Leah.
You have good life here. Look, Lieutenant, I am rich. I saved $600 before war. Since war, I make $2,000. Well, go on, I make maybe more. Sell grass skirts, boar's teeth, real human heads. Give all the money to you on the yacht. You don't have to work. I work for you. Then all day long, you and me yacht, be together. Walk through woods, swim in seas, sing, dance, talk happy. Don't think about Philadelphia. It's no good. Talk about beautiful things and make love all day long. It's a good idea. You like? Happy talking, talking, happy talking.
because talk about a girl saying to the boy, you and me is lucky to be yours. Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? If you don't talk happy and you never have a dream, then you'll never have a dream come true. It's a good idea. You like?
Leah, I want you to have this. It's a man's watch, but it's a good one. It belonged to my grandfather. It's kind of a lucky piece, too. My dad carried it all through the last war. Beautiful, isn't it?
When I see you first time, I know you're a good man for Leah. And she's a good girl for you. You have special good babies.
Mary? I can't marry Leah.
What's your last chance? Now she marries Jacques Ferrer. Come, Leah. Give me watch. Stingy bastard.
Hey, did you get a lot of that little Tonkinese girl?
Yeah?
My pleasure to introduce to you our skipper, Captain Brackett.
Younger than springtime were you, softer than starlight were you, angel and lover, heaven and earth
Up till now, our side has been having the hell kicked out of it in two hemispheres. We're not going to get to go home until the situation is reversed. Maybe a long time before we can get any big operation underway. So it's things like this show tonight, that keep us going. Now, I understand I'm not generally considered a sentimental type. Once or twice, I understand I've been referred to as Old Iron Belly. I resent that very much, because I had already chosen that as my private name for Executive Officer, Commander Harbison. Take a bow, Commander.
Hey, I wish I was the commander.
Now, I want you to know that both Old Iron Bellies sat here tonight and had a hell of a good time. We'd like to thank that hard-working committee of nurses and CVs who made the costumes and thought of these jokes and these grand old songs. And just like to say, on this Thanksgiving Day, from all of us to all of them, thank you. Now I'm going to ask Commander Harbison to introduce the next act, which will be the finale of our Thanksgiving entertainment.
Yeah, Harvey!
Our next and last will be a song sung by Bosun Butch Forbush. And that siren of the Coral Sea, gorgeous, voluptuous, and petite, Mademoiselle Lutheria. Bill it! Come on.
My doll is as dainty as a sparrow. Her figure is something to applaud. Where she's narrow as an arrow. And she's broad, where of a rod. call her hip, whirly and whirly. She's my baby, I'm her pet. I'm her ruby, she's my trip. I am caught and don't want to run, 'cause I'm having so much fun with Honey Bun. I am caught and don't want to run, 'cause I'm having so much fun with Honey Bun. Believe me, Sonny, she's a cookie who can't cook yet till you're done. Ain't being funny, Sonny, put your money on my Honey Bun.
I am gone and I don't wanna run, 'cause I'm having so much fun with Honey Bun. And that's the finish, and it's time to go, so tell us, shall we? We hope you like us, and we hope your friends who think us easy and run. Just to the left one, you'll enjoy your dinner, each and every one.
Give me some turkey and put some chestnut dressing on our Honey Bun. Oh, Luther, you really are a honey bun. These beautiful flowers. I needed someone to think of me tonight. I appreciate it, Luther. You don't know how much.
Miss Forbush, I'd like you to know I consider you the most wonderful woman in the entire world, even including the fact that you're an officer and all, and I just can't go on being such a heel as to let you think I thought of giving you those flowers.
But you did give them to me, and I really...
Here's the card that came with them. Are you all right, Miss Forbush? I'll be around the area just in case you need me. Just sing out.
What's wrong, Nellie the nurse? Having diplomatic difficulties with France?
Joe Cable, who let you out of the hospital?
Me? I'm okay.
Joe, you're trying to get to Valley High. That girl you told me about.
Leah. I've just seen her for the last time, I guess. You know, I love her. But I just heard myself saying that I can't marry her. What's the matter with me, Nellie? What kind of guy am I anyway?
You're all right. You're just far from home. We're both so far from home.
Nellie, I must see you.
Hale.
Will you excuse us, please, Lieutenant Cable?
Please stay, Joe. I was meaning to call you, Emile.
You have asked for a transfer. Why? What does it mean?
I'll tell you tomorrow, Emile.
No, now. What does it mean, Nellie?
It means I can't marry you, Emile. Do you understand? I can't marry you.
Nellie, because of my children?
Not because of your children. They're sweet.
It is their Polynesian mother, then, their mother and I.
Yes. It isn't as if I could give you a good reason. There is no reason. This is emotional. This is something that is born in me.
It is not. I do not believe it is born in you.
Then why do I feel the way I do? All I know is that I can't help it. I can't help it. Explain how you feel, Joe.
Nellie, what makes her talk like that? Why do you have this feeling, you and she? I do not believe it is born in you. I do not believe it.
It's not born in you. It happens after you're born.
You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are ugly made, and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be carefully taught.
This is just the kind of ugliness I was running away from. It has followed me all these years, and now it has found me. I've been cheated before, and I'm cheated again by a mean little world of mean little men. And the one chance for me is this life I know best, to be here on an island, and to hell with the rest. I will cling to this island like a tree or a stone. I will cling to this island and be free. And
Yes, sir. If I get out of this thing alive, I'm not going back there. I'm coming here. All I care about is right here.
When all you care about is here, this is a good place to be. When all you care about is taken away from you, there is no place. I came so close to